If you are called to missions, what an incredible opportunity. You are at the precipice of an adventure with God that you can't even begin to dream, think, or imagine.
Hey guys, my name is JV. If this is your first time here, welcome to JV's Journey. This is a Christian channel that'll help you grow in your faith and in your walk with Jesus. If you take a look at Jesus and his ministry on earth 2,000 plus years ago, him and his disciples were missionaries. And a missionary is someone who is sent to a foreign place in order to share the gospel and the good news. Today, I'm super excited because I have collaborated with some of my missionary friends all over the world, and they are going to share a little bit about their experience in the mission field. And I also want to give a big shout out to Ruben A Films, the homie Ruben, for creating this awesome missions video. And so I hope that you get inspired and that whoever that one person is today who is called for the missions field, this video is for you. So I hope you enjoy, and God bless.
Being on missions has really showed me that God is truly omnipresent. I mean, he is at work everywhere.
He desires me even more than I desire him, and he is even more committed to me than I'm committed to him.
For me, it helped me understand that there are many people in the world that do not know about Jesus, that don't know about the Lord. There are very few Christians in some parts of the world.
This life is about our service to other people. We're serving all day long other people. Hey, God has called me to serve my husband first. Your spouse comes first, no matter what.
There are people like me throughout the world that are waiting for the gospel. They're waiting for somebody to bring a message of hope for them. And it doesn't mean that you have to be black or you have to be the same skin color of them. But I think it was important in my scenario.
The love that the Filipino culture expressed to us missionaries, they really challenged me on what's important, and that is relationship and community.
And Mrs. Goodwin felt like God told her that when you grew up, you're going to be a missionary in Indonesia. That God has so specifically designed me and called me to that kind of life. So don't worry if you didn't get a prophetic word when you were 12. God has a unique story for each one of us.
At that point in our lives, we just knew that this was the next step that God was calling us to do. We just knew that it was a stepping stone in the right direction.
I don't think it's the same for everybody. I really ended up pursuing it when the Lord kind of started speaking and bringing it up. There's some really big confirmations, there were some signs. And so for me, it was a mixture of the desire and the call.
I had pursued a career. I went to school for it. I feel like I was doing everything that I needed to do. Like God was starting to put something in my heart that said, no, son, I have something more for you. I've blessed you, but I have more for you.
And I would say that I've always been called to missions, starting at a young age. Not that I was a missionary kid or anything, but I've always had a love for culture.
So for me, it started years before I even knew the Lord. I always had a deep desire to do humanitarian work, and that deep desire that I had came to fruition when I was given the opportunity to go on a missionary journey, and it just completely changed me.
I basically was telling him, hey, I felt like I was supposed to come here tonight, like God wanted me to come to this show, and is there anything I could be praying for you for? God told me to come here. And he was a little bit taken back. We changed phone numbers, I ended up connecting with him again, and it was really cool, just like, it was a little bit freaky almost to just see God's faithfulness in that.
We didn't go in and try to change anything. We just said, hey, here's a gospel, here's a good news.
I was asked to go speak in a classroom in a public high school, and that was just a great opportunity for me to speak life into them and to tell them that they are cared for and they are loved, and that maybe their own teacher didn't have that opportunity.
We're doing our crusades, we're doing dramas, we're doing preachments, and they were all beginning to fall out in the presence of God. The Holy Spirit began to just minister to these kids as they accepted Jesus into their hearts, as people were delivered and just set free. It was an amazing, life-transforming moment in my walk with God.
For those that are considering missions work, bringing other people in with you to pray alongside you, and to gain that affirmation and confirmation through others. Fasting is huge. So if it's something that's small right now, I'd say keep praying on it. If it's something that's really strong and it's like overwhelming, it's a burden on your heart, then you're probably called for missions.
Really seek after that confirmation and follow it. Fear will try to tell you that it's too big of a thing. Finances will tell you it's scary, you can't do it. Other people might tell you it's not the right time. But the Lord really called me in a time that was not convenient. Missions, the history of missions has a lot of background, and a lot of really, really bad things have happened in missions. And so you have to be aware of that and come as a learner and a servant.
Keep your eyes focused on the Lord, and be sure to submit all your feelings, all your frustrations, all your what ifs, all your how can this be, just submit it to him and trust him in the process, I would say.
God uses you to bless the people there, but he also uses the people there to bless you. And if you've been struggling with, I don't know if I'm good enough, God will put you in that situation to show you how much you can help that person, but also how those persons can turn around and help you. So it's a really humbling experience. And
While you are praying about it and waiting for God to guide you in that direction, just serve where you are, no matter where it is, no matter how long it takes for God to speak to you in that while you're praying and waiting for him. The best thing you can do is just serve other people.
Continue to pray about it. If God has led you to missionary work, there is no hiding from it. He uses missionary work not just for you to be his hands and feet, but as I've mentioned before, he uses it to prune you, to perfect you, to make you into what he's called you to be.
I think one way you know what you're called to is when you just have a burning heart for something specific. So if you have the opportunity to go overseas, do it. You won't be the same.
My personal advice to you would be to just do it.
Do it.
I know for a fact that we would not have taken the next step, and then the next step, and the next. And so even if you're not so sure that it's something that you want to do long term.
So I highly encourage you, if you feel called to the missions field, if you feel nudged, or you're like, God, maybe I'm called to be a missionary. Well, we're all called to be missionaries. If that's here, where we're at, wherever you are, you're a missionary to where you're at. But if you're called to overseas, I really challenge you to really seek counsel. Seek counsel from your leadership in your church. Make sure you pray, make sure you fast, because once in the missions field, you're going to be faced with many challenges. Challenged culturally, you're going to be faced with opposition and adversity, and you really want to know that God has called you to the mission field. So I highly encourage you, if you feel called to the missions, start to know the culture, start to reach out, build relationships with people that are a part of that culture, so God can best equip you for the season that you're walking into. I wish you the best. Thank you for this opportunity, JV, and all the best. God bless.